consider what we've learned. We've seen that at the heart of Christianity is one thing: Jesus and a relationship with him made possible by the cross. That great transaction where Jesus dies in our place for our wrongdoing so that we can be right with God and our relationship with God can be restored. We've looked at some of the reasons for disillusionment. If we're honest, aren't we, our reasons are often quite narrow and partial, as they were for these two friends. We've seen how Jesus takes them away from what they think is most important to show what he knows to be most important. He shows their greater need of forgiveness and that restored relationship with God. He demonstrates to them that great love which is at the heart of the gospel. Love even for those who are wandering away. We need to be open. We need to be open to the possibility that our Creator and our Maker knows our needs better than we do. A need so great that Jesus, God's Son, pointed to by all of the scriptures, should come and die in our place. Do you know, many of those things that we judge Christianity by, those desires, we started with some of them: a desire for social justice, a desire for fairness, a desire for equality, an end of all evil, a desire for community, for genuineness, consistency, a lack of hypocrisy. They're all really, really good things. And all of those good and right desires will be met. Jesus doesn't ignore them. As David was praying earlier, he knows what is most important. He knows our greatest need, but those other things will also be met. Some of them will be met by having that relationship and friendship with God restored. Some of them will be met in the community of the church and amongst God's people. Some of them will completely and perfectly be met when we get to heaven, in the age to come, where there's no sin and sickness and sadness and dying and pain. Jesus put it really well in his teaching. He said, "Seek first God's kingdom, and all these things will be added to you as well." God doesn't ignore our needs. He just knows that we have a need that trumps all of them, to be forgiven and to be set right with him. And all of this is secured by Jesus' death on the cross. But as we come to an end this evening, what I'd love you to do is just to consider what your next move is. There are a number of options. The easiest one for you to take is to keep on walking away, if that's what you're doing. It takes the least effort. The man on the iceberg can always have the option of putting down the binoculars and continuing to think that the world around him is all that there is. But for some of you, it is perfectly possible that tonight is the equivalent of the big reveal moment for those disciples on the road to Emmaus. Perhaps you've seen for the first time what the heart of Christianity is actually all about, that it's about a relationship with the living Jesus, achieved and made possible by his death on the cross, that we can bring nothing to that, but it's a gift in love as it was shown to these disciples. And then the appropriate response in terms of your next move is to do the turning around. That's what these disciples do, don't they? The Bible has a word for that. It's called repentance. It simply means you change from living a life moving away from God and turn around to live a life moving back towards him, with him in your sights. It involves a simple prayer. It involves recognizing the size of the problem that we face. It involves believing that Jesus' death is for you and in your place. If you're at that point, please, I urge you, talk to a Christian who you know. They would love to talk to you about how you get that friendship with God started and the way in which you do that. In fact, talking to them about that would probably be one of their greatest joys. There's a third option. You can keep walking away. You can turn around because you're there in your understanding. Or you might be just like those disciples, wanting to do the equivalent of asking Jesus to stay a little longer. You might say, I need just a bit more time. I need to consider further. I've got a hint that there is some truth here, but I can't weigh all of it properly. Well, if that's you, there are a number of options for you. You could swing by the church. We've got some excellent resources outside in crates that you're very welcome to take. Books about the Easter story, a different take on this message, this story that we've been looking at this afternoon and in this meeting, just come by Chertsey Street site or at the back of the station at Guildford Park, pick up some books. Another possibility is for you to look at Luke's Gospel. You can get that as an open source on the internet. Just read Luke's Gospel, his account of Jesus' life all the way through. See what you make of Jesus. Put the focus on the one who is at the heart of the Christian faith. See how he measures up. See who you think he is. Or the other possibility is, come along to Christianity Explained. David mentioned that earlier on. It's an online course that we run here. Our next Christianity Explained course starts next Sunday afternoon. It's a great opportunity for you to spend more time with others looking at Jesus. You can do that just by listening. There's an opportunity to contribute on Zoom and ask some questions if you want to. All that you'd have to do is just send a message to the church office, and we'd love to send you a link so that you could be part of that. Don't be disillusioned. Rather see that at the heart of Christianity is a relationship with God, a daily friendship of prayer and speaking to him and hearing him speak through his word, as he has done in this story, all made possible and fueled by his death on the cross, taking the sin that we should have paid for ourselves. Please be open to the possibility that Jesus knows your greatest need and has provided a sufficient solution for it by his death upon the cross.